if you want to join me this morning, just go ahead and put your request in. I will bring you up in just one moment. I do have an anti-sermon this morning for you all. We are going to talk about Zilpah today. So make sure you share out the live with others that you think might enjoy listening to an anti-sermon. Okay, why do I not remember what to do sometimes? You'd think after all this time I would just know what I'm supposed to do. Yesterday we did this topic and it really made some men crash out. But I'm hoping to have some conversations today about it. I still not really understanding where free will is for women. Still trying to understand that. Zena May had a similar topic going on over in her live this morning. I was getting so angry at the Mog. I was getting so bad at him. Good morning. Okay. All right, I think we're live now over on the YouTubes. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. I'd love to, why can't I do anything? Let me get a different cord. Hang on one second. For my iPad, because I really need it this morning, so I need to make sure it has a good charge going to it. All right, we're going to try this. I'm going to take it out of this case. I don't know why they don't make the cases better on these things by now to make it so that you can get a good charge when something's plugged in. Seems so like a simple designing feature. I'm no engineer, but I'm married to one, and so I like to blame everything on engineers. He does too, though. He blames everything on engineers too. Oh my goodness. Thank you for the heart, me, Ace. Good to see you, Ty here. Good to see you. Good morning, everybody. I didn't share the live. I guess I should do that too if I want people to come in and see me. Oh. All right. If you are friendly, you want to come up and hang out with me on the panel this morning, you're welcome to do so. I hate hanging out by myself. So I always love it when I get some friendlies up here to join me. And once we get around 20 people in here, I will go ahead and do the anti-sermon. And once we, like I said, Zilpah today.
Hello.
Hi, Ace. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Oh, I can't hear you. Let me check my phone. Oh, now talk.
I'm doing good.
My phone volume was turned down. Good to see you.
Yeah, I randomly play a game called Appear. I didn't even realize you were live because I was like doom scrolling. and Tahir had sent me a live, so I'm like, oh, who's live? And then I saw who it was. I'm like, okay, let's hop in.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad you did.
It's funny because
Let's
I
see.
ain't been
Michael's.
awake for long.
I am not a morning person, so I've been awake for a few hours, but it's so hard for me to get going in the morning. I don't know why. I like a lazy morning. Michael said true free will would mean one could choose something other than heaven or hell. I agree with you, Michael. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt in this question that there is some form of free will that exists, but if it does, it's only for men. I don't see it in the Bible for women. I don't believe that if a person has no agency that they have free will. So I don't believe slaves have free will. I don't like literally you're a slave. How could you have free will, right? So women can be sold into slavery from their fathers, and then they are under the authority of their husbands. So I don't see how women have free will at all.
The research channel, right?
I'm sorry, what?
I have I have a research channel
Oh, that's
where
cool.
yes, I do research on other pantheons and learning about other like deities and their practices and some of their like beliefs, like some of their
Ooh,
gods
that's
and
cool.
goddesses that they worship. I actually keep my my notes updated in Boma's Disco server.
Oh, cool. I'll check it out because I'm in that server. That's awesome.
Oh, so there's this notes section that I had specifically asked for, and right now I have the Chinese in there, the Egyptian in there, and I'm going through the Greeks. Um, I got through a full notebook with notes, and I'm working on my second one. I am called Boma's coven researcher for a reason.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes,
That's cool.
she calls me her coven researcher. Because I do a lot of research. Right now, I'm going
I
through the
love
Greeks.
research.
I love it too. Tahir actually got sent my year breakdown of the Bible, where I put
Oh, wow.
down. Yeah, so like with the Old Testament, you gotta get off of some of my notebooks. You can't keep being on them, child. So like with the Old Testament, Tahir, it's going in my arsenal. So with
I
the Old
know.
Testament, I don't know where else to post it, like because I'm in like the Deconjunction, I'm in TBVs, I'm in what is up? Stop with the Sharpie. I have a cat.
You can
You know.
join mine too. I have a
Okay.
Discord too, so you can join mine too.
Oh,
I have a small
absolutely.
Discord.
I will absolutely join. Right now I think I'm in 5 separate decon areas. I only post notes in like a couple of them unless I know like it's okay for me to do it. Like
You
in
absolutely can do it in mine. I love resources. I love
ooh,
information. I think it helps us all, be
so
like you to know the truth about things, right?
absolutely. And yesterday somebody had pissed me off so bad, and as the researcher, of course I'm going to research into it because they were like, "Oh, other religions stole from Christianity." I'm like, "Let me give you the years for when the whole thing was written." So the Old Testament was between 1450 to 400 BCE. The Torah was between 1450 to 1400 BCE, which was Genesis to Deuteronomy. Joshua, Judges, and Ruth was 1400 to 1000 BC, 1000 BCE. First and Second Samuel, the initial writings of Psalms, which we know as David, and Proverbs, which was Solomon, was between 1050 to 930 BCE. You have the major and minor prophets, which was like Isaiah, Amos, Micah, etc., which was between 800 to 600 BCE, and the books written during or after the Babylonian captivity, which was Ezekiel, Daniel, Ezra, Nehemiah, and Malachi, were between 590 to 400 BCE. And I have the notes on the New Testament, and I got like the first mass-produced printed Bible was Gutenberg, which was about 1455 CE, which was the first mass-produced printed Bible. But I broke it down because I hate when people try to say something and they can't back up their claims.
I wonder if that's the same guy who was on Mezzo's show last time, because he was trying to say that Hindus took from the New Testament. What are you talking about? Hinduism existed before the Torah. You.
Yeah.
It is that guy. It is that guy. I'm like, you are crazy. What are you talking about? It took 2 seconds to look that up. That was crazy.
Pissed me off. So I went straight full, okay, motherfucker. And it was funny because I don't remember whose live I was in when he had popped in. And during the whole thing, I had Ray, which is in the coven, who the moment he realized I was on, he goes, I said to myself, if Ace was here, she'd be fucking seething. I'm like, I am. You're fucking pissing me off. Don't talk about something that's right up in my wheelhouse.
Just now. Can you guys hear Ace? Because I can't hear Ace now.
Can I be heard?
You can? That's weird. Let me check and see if something happened to Tahir, can you come up for a minute and somebody else talk so I could see if it's me? Like, do I need a restart? Or can somebody else come up for a real quick minute? Can you talk?
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
I can't hear anybody. Oh, let me see if something took over my Bluetooth. Hang on. Can you? Yes, something did take over my.
Hi, Ace.
Hi.
Something took over my Bluetooth. I hate that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? All of a sudden, hey, Rav, come on up if you want. I would love for you to come up. I am going to be doing the anti-sermon in a minute, and I'd love for you to hear today's. It's on Zilpa.
One of the things that I do, because when I'm streaming on YouTube, I do double stream so that like more people will see it, and then I can send them over to your channel. And so like on the vertical, well, it's on both, but on the vertical, it's specifically positioned so that when you do your anti-sermon, it says anti-sermon time, just to kind of distinguish like when it's happening and when it's not.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I'd like to get 20 people in here before I start. We're at 8, so I need people to share out the live. Yeah. Share it out with some Christians if you have some Christians, but share it out definitely with all of the women, because I think that these sermons really speak to women, and I get a lot of feedback from them. They always get something from them. So, and today's is. It is a really good sermon, and I might cry when I'm reading. I make myself cry. I know, it's so weird, right? But
it's not. No, art is release.
It is. It really is. But yeah, so hey, Volsi, I don't know if you actually are just scrolling by or if you're in here, but I'd love to get with you and Barb, because I'd love to have the two of you on Decon Q&A with Crystaljae together to talk about the show you guys do together. Thank you. Voila. I appreciate that.
That would be a good one.
Yes. Wouldn't it be a good one to have them both together? Because I've interviewed them both separately, but they go live together so much now, and it'd be so good.
That'd be like not.
I'll have to DM.
That'd be like not interviewing Joel and Mezzo together, because if you have one, you have both at this point.
My last interview with Joel, I did alone. I mean, Meza wasn't there. The first one was Joel and Meza. The second one was just Joel. But I am going to talk to Joel about doing a special event for me, and so hopefully I'll have a special event with Joel coming up soon.
Love that. I was gonna say
I can't do it.
Yeah, it hasn't been working for you. But the thing I like about Bar and Volsi's like interaction is because Bar, like when he starts like ranting, if you will, it's like he's just kind of sitting back and like Volsi will be, you know, going back and forth with somebody, and then all of a sudden he'll sit up and you're like, oh, he's about to go on a black atheist rant.
Yeah.
And he will, and just start spitting, you know, some knowledge and some deep stuff. And it's a nice mix. I like them together.
Oh my God, I love them together. And the soundboard too is amazing.
Yes.
I'm still trying to learn the people in the deconstruction area because I ain't been in this crowd for very long. I actually got, so the reason why I've become like, some people get really excited to see me is because they know that like whenever it comes to, I only do debates on Fridays. Not this week, but there's a reason behind that one. But I normally do like really chill lives where I'll just randomly like go on a 30-minute rant about whatever I'm researching. And
Oh, that's cool.
I have people who are like, hi, Lath.
Lath, if you want to come up, you're always welcome. You know that. I hope you know that. We can stack it with friendlies right now because I'm about to do an anti-sermon, so I don't really care whether Christians or believers are up here right now or not. But if you are friendly and you want to come up and hang out, the guest box is open. We're going to do an anti-sermon today on Zilpah. A lot of people probably don't even know who Zilpah is. And that's why we're doing sermons on all the women in the Bible, named or unnamed, girls or women. Anytime they are mentioned, we're going to do a sermon on them, an anti-sermon, if you will. And we loving them call them Auntie, A-U-N-T-I-E. And I'm your auntie, and I'm going to do that sermon.
I'm going to go ahead and jump down. I got to get back to work, but thank you for having me.
Okay.
And I'll be hanging out.
Tahir, thanks for coming up and helping me with my sound. I appreciate it. You guys, make sure you're following Tahir. She's amazing. She is one of the admins over at the Deconstruction Junction Discord server. And as you know, that is a huge help to so many people. So... well, I don't know if I can wait until 20 people are in here because I am excited about this anti-sermon. So I might have to just go ahead and start. What did you have to say, Ace, before I start?
Thank you, Lath. I was going to say, TBV had rated me during my 24-hour live one day. Because I did do a 24.
Oh, wow. I don't think I could do that.
I had promised somebody that if I hit 50 followers on my research channel, I would do a 24-hour live. And during that 24-hour live, I had a lot of great interaction, and it was insane. But TBV had rated me, and that's initially where me and Tahir met, was during that 24.
Ah, that's so cool. Actually, restarting won't help me. I will not get pushed out until we have 5,000. I know it's so crazy. 5,000 likes and 100 shares. We're sitting at 3.8 on the likes and 88 on the shares. And if you do your heart me's and collect your little team points up at the top there, that also will help me. But I am shadow banned, have been forever. Restarts don't help me. I go by people sharing, and that's how I end up getting pushed out. It's the only thing that helps for me. And I don't want to start a new account, so I'm just not going to. I just figure whoever shows up and enjoys my show will show up and enjoy my show, and that's how I work it, you know. It is what it is. We're going to go ahead and start, even with only 8 people in here. I normally wait for 20 because usually after a while I will get those 20 people in here. But we'll go ahead and start. And we're going to talk about Zilpah. So we're going to start in Genesis 29:24. Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah to be her maid. This is how Zilpah enters the Bible. And at this point in Genesis, the plot is so repetitive, it's almost boring. Another woman, another transfer, another body moved from one set of hands to another. She enters the way furniture enters a room, the way livestock enters a household. She is given. Before we know her story, before we know her body will bear sons, before tribes will rise from her womb, the text tells us exactly where she stands in the moral order. She is property. And the Hebrew makes that unmistakably clear. The word translated here as maid is shifah. It does not mean helper. It does not mean servant in the modern sense. It means female slave. Owned, transferable, without legal autonomy. This is not metaphorical slavery. This is not symbolic service. This is chattel slavery. The text is not confused about this. It does not soften it. It does not explain it. It simply assumes it. Hey, Godwin, you are more than welcome to come up if you want. Before Zilpah is a mother, before she is useful, before she produces anything of value, the Bible introduces her as someone who can be given away. Her name? The Bible gives us her name and then refuses to explain it. That alone should make us pause. Because when the Bible likes a woman's name, it tells us why. When it wants us to feel something about a name, it slows down. But Zilpah's name is dropped into the story and abandoned. When we turn to the Hebrew, it doesn't get better. Classic Hebrew lexicons associate her name with meanings like drooping, weak, frail. Words about the body, words about failure to stand upright. Frankly, the possible meanings of her name read like a list of insulting adjectives. Not wisdom, not beauty, not strength, just physical diminishment. Droopy? Really? And when you read that, you start to realize something uncomfortable. The text does not just enslave her body, it labels it. She is named in a way that prepares the reader to not care. Wife or slave. Now, here's where the text creates a problem it never resolves. After establishing Zilpah as an enslaved, the text then tells us something else. Genesis says she is given to Jacob as a wife. That matters. In Jewish tradition, wife is not something. In Jewish tradition, wife is not nothing. Wife is status. Wife is legitimacy. Wife is supposed to mean protection, standing, recognition. But watch what the text does next. After calling her a wife, it never treats her like one. Hey, Tiny, you're more than welcome to come up too if you want. From that moment on, she is not remembered as Jacob's wife. She is not spoken of independently. She is not elevated. Instead, the text keeps calling her Leah's maid over and over again, even after she bears sons, even after those sons are fully legitimate, even after those sons become tribes. She is a wife in name and a slave in memory. And the tension is not accidental, because in the ancient Near East, wife was not a single category, it was a hierarchy. There were primary wives, secondary wives, slave wives, wives taken for alliance, wives taken for labor, wives taken for reproduction, and all of them could legally be called a wife. But not all wives were protected. Not all wives had status. Not all wives were remembered. Zilpah is that kind of a wife. Some wives existed for one purpose only, to produce. Zilpah is that kind of wife. She is used as a breeder. A wife whose body is upgraded just enough to legitimize children. And then I lost my place. Oh, there we go. But whose person is never upgraded at all. Her sons rise, her status freezes. She is not treated like Leah. She is not treated like Rachel. She is not even treated like a remembered wife. She is treated like an incubator with a legal label. And the text is comfortable with that. Every time Zilpah appears, Zilpah is mentioned only a handful of times in the entire Bible. Here is every verse where she appears. Genesis 29:24. Laban gave his maid Zilpah to his daughter Leah to be her maid. Genesis 30:9. When Leah saw that she had stopped bearing children, she took her maid Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Genesis 30:10 and 11. Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, "Good fortune," and she named him Gad. Genesis 30:12 and 13. Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, "Happy am I, for the women will call me happy." So she named him Asher. Genesis 35:26. The sons of Zilpah, Leah's maid, Gad and Asher. Here's Zilpah's story, a synopsis. Zilpah enters the biblical story as an enslaved woman owned by Laban. She is given to Leah. Later, she is given again to Jacob. The text calls the second transfer a marriage. Zilpah does not speak. She is not consulted. She is not asked. She bears two sons for Jacob. Leah names them. Leah explains what they mean. Leah receives the social benefit. Zilpah's body produces children whom will become tribes of Israel. Her sons are counted as fully legitimate. Their names are remembered. Their descendants matter. Zilpah herself is never elevated. God never speaks to her. No one asks how this costs her. She is never remembered as a wife. Even after bearing sons, even after those sons become tribes, the text continues to identify her only as Leah's maid. Her story begins with ownership, it ends with a label. And what should trouble us most is not just what happens to Zilpah, but how familiar this pattern will become. A woman's body is used to bring something sacred into the world. The outcome is celebrated, the woman is forgotten. This will not be the last time the Bible tells a story like this. The rabbinic teaching and the silence around Zilpah. When we turn to rabbinic teaching, we might expect something to change, something the rabbis argue with. Sometimes the rabbis argue with the text. Sometimes they soften it. Sometimes they rescue women. The Bible leaves exposed. But with Zilpah, that doesn't happen. Rabbinic tradition notices her only when it has to. She appears when lineage needs explaining. She appears when the sons need legitimizing. She appears when tribal math requires an origin story, but she is never treated as a moral problem. The rabbis explain Leah. They justify the strategy. They protect the sons. They preserve the structure. Zilpah herself is not questioned. Her consent is not discussed. Her suffering is not examined. Her elevation is never imagined. Even when the text calls her a wife, rabbinic tradition quietly returns her to where she started, Leah's maid, a means to an end. This is not because Zilpah didn't matter, but because actually taking her seriously would have forced the tradition to question who gets power, who gets inheritance, and whose bodies are allowed to be used without consequences. Christian teaching, when usefulness becomes holy. When we move from the biblical text into Christian teaching, something changes, not the facts, the framing. Christian teaching rarely lingers on Zilpah herself. It lingers on what came from her. God built Israel anyway. God worked through broken family systems. God brought good out of a bad situation. Zilpah's suffering fades into the background while the outcome takes center stage. This is how Christianity often deals with horrific events in the Bible. The question is never, should this have happened? The question is always, why did God do it? And once that question is accepted, the devastation no longer matters. The violence doesn't matter. The coercion doesn't matter. The woman doesn't matter, because it all supposedly works towards God's greater good. But there is no good reason to rape a woman. There is no holy justification for violating a body. There is no divine excuse that makes exploitation acceptable. Not even a bloodline, especially not a bloodline. And this is where the logic completely collapses, because Zilpah's sons do not lead to the Messiah. The Bible never presents Gad or Asher as necessary to the central plot. They are not required for salvation history. They are not essential to redemption. They aren't required at all, which means Zilpah's suffering cannot even be defended by the argument Christianity reaches for most. This is not violated for she is not violated for the Messiah. She is violated for structure, for continuity, and for tribal math. Christian teaching still insists on calling this meaningful, still insists on calling it necessary, still insists on calling it God working through brokenness. But when the outcome is not redemption and the cost is a woman's body, what remains is not mystery. It is utilitarianism. Zilpah is not condemned. She is simply absorbed. Her body becomes a means. Her experience becomes irrelevant. Her exploitation is reframed as participation in something sacred. And this way of telling the story should feel familiar, because Christianity loves this storytelling style. Women are a prop to move the story along, from Zilpah to Mary. Their bodies used as incubators, and it is seen as holy. Zilpah and Mary, the same structure. Before we compare women, we need to compare systems, because this is not about personalities. It is about how bodies are used. Zilpah's body is used to advance what the text calls God's plan, not redemption, not salvation. Continuity. Her body stabilizes a household. Her womb solves a problem. Order is preserved. Mary's body is also used to advance what Christianity calls God's plan. This time it is salvation. This time it is redemption. This time the stakes are cosmic. Different outcomes, same mechanism. In both stories, a woman's body becomes the means by which something sacred enters the world. The plan moves forward through her flesh. The theology celebrates the results. The cost to the woman fades into the background. That is the that is the pattern. Now let's talk about consent. Zilpah's consent is never mentioned. She is enslaved. Consent is structurally impossible. Her availability is assumed. Mary's consent is emphasized. An angel speaks, a question is asked, a response is given, and Christians point to that response as proof of righteousness, of obedience, of faith. But consent does not exist in a vacuum. Mary is a young girl, a child by every social and legal standard of her world, and children cannot give consent. Even before we talk about angels or prophecy, a child cannot meaningfully consent to what is being asked of her. And even if Mary had been an adult, the power imbalance would still make true consent impossible. This is not equal speaking. This is not negotiation. This is God and human. An infinite authority confronting a finite person, a future declared not offered, a role assigned not chosen from alternatives. So the question is not whether Mary understood what was happening. The question is whether she understood that saying no was never truly an option. And that brings us to the word she chooses. When Mary responds to the angel, she says, "I am the Lord's servant." But the word does not mean servant. In Greek, Mary calls herself douli or doule. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. It's D-O-U-L-E. A female slave, a bondwoman, someone who belongs to someone else. And this is where we need to be honest about what Mary is doing. Mary is not diminishing herself because she lacks worth. She is naming reality. She understands the imbalance. She understands the hierarchy. She understands that resistance is not on the table. Calling herself a slave is not confusion, it is clarity. It is the language of someone who knows there is no meaningful way to refuse the God of the universe. Zilpah is called a slave by the text. Mary calls herself one. Two women, two bodies, two plans said to come from God, and both are framed using the same logic: availability, obedience, and the surrender of self. And we should not rush past that word. Mary does not have to call herself a slave. She could have said servant. She could have said follower. She could have said chosen, but she doesn't. She reaches for the most accurate word she has. I am the Lord's slave. So we have to ask why women learn this language so fluently. Why submission feels like realism. Why acceptance feels like wisdom. Why survival gets mistaken for holiness. And this is where the conversation stops being ancient and starts being painfully familiar. Because this is not the only time a young person shaped by religious belief has understood that compliance was the safest option available. Before we go any further, we need to talk about someone who lived this in real time. Someone whose story helps us understand how belief can reshape how a person understands harm, and how reclaiming yourself can take years. Her name is Elizabeth Smart. Elizabeth Smart believes survival and reclaiming the self. Before we go any further, I need to say this clearly. The next part of this sermon references kidnapping and sexual violence. I will not be graphic, but I will be honest. If you need to step away or take a breath, please do so. Elizabeth Smart did not grow up in the margins. She grew up in a loving, stable home, a religious home. She was raised in a devout Latter-day Saint family, surrounded by faith, structure, and moral teaching. She was taught obedience. She was taught modesty. She was taught that virtue was something you guarded. She was taught that goodness was tied to purity. And in the religious culture she grew up in, there was a message, sometimes explicit, sometimes implied, that it is better to die than to lose your virtue. That teaching mattered. It shaped how girls understood their bodies. It shaped how they understood worth. And it shaped what survival was allowed to look like. Elizabeth Smart was 14 years old when she was kidnapped from her bedroom. A man entered her home in the middle of the night, threatened her family, and took her away. For 9 months, Elizabeth Smart was held captive. She was repeatedly abused. She was isolated. She was controlled through fear, coercion, and religious manipulation. And years later, when Elizabeth began to speak publicly, she explained something that made people deeply uncomfortable. During her captivity, she believed she was ruined. That once her purity was taken, she was no longer worth saving. That escape no longer mattered. That resistance no longer made sense. Those beliefs did not come from her captor. They came from the religious messages she had absorbed long before the kidnapping. Obedience became survival. Compliance became safety. Endurance became the only option that felt morally available. Elizabeth has been very clear about this. She was not consenting. She was coping. She was doing what people do when refusal seems impossible. The survival feels like the only remaining moral choice. And it took years after her rescue to unlearn the idea that what was done to her defined who she was. It took years to reclaim her body as her own, her voice as her own, her worth as something that had never been lost. Elizabeth Smart did not become strong because of what happened to her. She became strong by rejecting the belief system that told her she was already gone. And this is why her story belongs here. Not because her experience is the same as Mary's. It is not. But because it helps us understand something essential, how belief can reshape how a person understands harm, how obedience can feel like the only righteous response, and how accepting a role does not mean the role was freely chosen. Elizabeth Smart shows us that survival can look like surrender and that reclaiming yourself often begins with rejecting the language that once kept you alive. And when we return to Mary's words, I am the Lord's slave, we are no longer hearing blind faith. We are hearing a young person accurately naming a situation where refusal did not feel possible. And that should change how we tell these stories. And before we close, we have to come back to Zilpah. Because this story was never about Mary, and it was never really about Elizabeth Smart. It was always about her. Elizabeth Smart did not consent. She was captive. Mary did not consent. She names herself accurately. She understands the imbalance she is standing inside of. And Zilpah? Zilpah was never even given the dignity of being asked. Elizabeth Smart was held captive. Mary names herself captive, and Zilpah is named captive by the text itself. In Hebrew, Zilpah is called Shifha, a female slave, property, transferable, owned. In Greek, Mary calls herself Doule, a female slave, a bondwoman, someone who belongs to someone else. Different languages, same word, same logic. And Zilpah is given the title of wife, but she is treated exactly as what the text already decided she was, a Shiva, a woman whose body existed to produce. Elizabeth Smart survives and reclaims herself. Mary is exalted and remembered. But Zilpah? No one paints her. No one builds statues of her. No one places her on the front lawn with a bathtub over her head. No one prays to her. No one calls her holy. The text diminishes her. Tradition forgets her. The system uses her and moves on. And writing this sermon has made something painfully clear to me. I do not believe free will exists anywhere in Scripture, and I most certainly do not believe it exists for women. Not then and not now. Because when free will does not exist, what gets called obedience is often just survival. What gets called faith is often just adaptation. What gets called holiness is often just learning the language of captivity. Women are still giving themselves the title of slave. You can say it in Hebrew, Shifah. You can say it in Greek, Doule. You can say it from the pulpit and call it beautiful. But Elizabeth Smart teaches us something else. She shows us that what was done to you does not get to name you. What you endured does not define you. What a system needed from your body does not determine your worth. Zilpah is not what the text says she is. Zilpah is not property. She is not a breeder. She is not drooping. She is not weak. They diminished her. I will not. Zilpah is a mother of Israel. Zilpah is a survivor. Zilpah endured a system that never intended to honor her. And if sainthood means bearing unbearable things without becoming what the system said you were, then if there ever was a saint, it is Zilpah. And that is my anti-sermon today. Questions or comments?
That was so fucking good.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Devil's Public Defender. I think that a lot of times we gloss over the fact that Mary called herself a slave to God. I just really don't hear people talk about that enough. And I think it's something, when they say that Mary consented, we really should be countering with the fact that I don't think she did. Not when she's calling herself a slave.
I have a strong issue whenever somebody says that Mary consented when technically she's not even old enough to consent.
Right. Exactly. But even if she were, how can you consent when it's the God of the universe? How can you consent when he literally could just
He can do
unalive
whatever
you
the
or
fuck he wants
destroy
to.
you?
It's
Right.
the ultimate grooming situation. There's no more ultimate
Exactly.
grooming situation than that. And you know what? God should know better.
Exactly.
Guess what me and my wife are
Exactly.
watching, Crystal? We're watching The Handmaid's Tale. We just began it last week.
Oh,
Horrifying.
I'm so scared to watch that. That's why I haven't watched it, because I think I'll get too depressed. Like, I really do. Like, so I've been avoiding it, actually. Really
I
have.
recommend avoiding it for a few years, but it's poignant to what
Yeah,
your anti-sermon was. So I got to mute up, though. Good to see you.
good to see you too, Godwin. Make sure you guys are following Godwin. Some of the Christians say Mary was born sinless too. Yeah, they do say that. That's actually what they believe the Immaculate Conception was that she was not born into sin. Thank you so much.
Oh, Crystal, I'm sorry. I am on YouTube. I'm trying to build up my YouTube presence, so I'm Godwin7 on YouTube.
All right, you guys, if you're on YouTube, go subscribe to Godwin7. If you are on YouTube right now this morning,
Thank
good
you,
morning,
hon.
YouTube. If you're on my channel, good morning, Deconstruction Junction. If you're watching over there, let me see if I can pull you guys up over here and say hi to you on my iPad, because I do have both things available.
You're gonna have to send me your YT Godwin.
Okay, sure. Let me see.
If you are over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube channel and you want to come over and talk, you need to do it over on TikTok. I don't have a way to talk to people on YouTube yet, but I'm working on that. As a matter of fact, this is my goal. Every time you gift the show, every time you send me a tip over on my available, like, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, I am putting that towards upgrading all my equipment. We've upgraded a lot already. The community helped me get a new phone when I jumped in the pool to save my dog's life. We got a new light. We got a new chair. So you guys are helping me upgrade my equipment. The next thing, of course, is a PC. I need a better PC. I have a laptop from like before COVID days, and so it can't do the heavy work I need it to do to stream to all of you guys. But once I do get a new computer, I will be able to offer a way for YouTube to call in and interact as well. But it is good to see Angel. I see you over there again, Ty here, Elizabeth, He Jonesy. Good to see all of you over there. And let's see who else we have over on the other YouTube channel.
It's Godwin
We got over
_7.
here.
Sorry.
Why am I not on over here? Well, no wonder nobody's over on my channel.
Send me a link to it, Godwin.
I will, Ace. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are fixed over on my channel now. I don't know why we weren't working over there.
I need to add the rest of my videos to that.
But, okay, we should be going back over on my channel now too. I'm sorry, you guys. I did not know that happened. And now it's all messed up. This is why I'm trying to upgrade my equipment, so I won't have to have these things happen. Anyway, if you are a believer of the God of the Bible and you want to come up and talk today, or if you're not and you got something to say, come on up. Guest box is open. Casper, I accepted your invite, but for some reason you didn't come up, so you might want to re-request.
Hey there.
Hey Dagda, good to see you. Good to see you.
Sorry, I'm working on trying to get all of my Chinese Pantheon on YT on a playlist, so that way if anybody wants to like go through the playlist, then they have that.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool.
I can't do it on TikTok until I have like a certain amount of followers on it, but I can do it on YT, so that's what I'm working on right now.
I'm gonna mute you while you're doing it because it is a little noisy. Casper, did you want to come up? You sent in request to come up. I accepted, and then it didn't bring you up. But I also sent you an invite. You're more than welcome to come up. I just want to talk today because I don't see free will for women in the Bible. I am told all the time that we all have free will, but the more I think about the less I believe that. I don't believe that women do. I don't believe that slaves do. I actually don't believe anybody does. But if I even give you the fact that some people do, I don't see where all people have free will. It doesn't seem biblical to me at all. And so I would like to talk about where free will is for women in the Bible. If you are a believer, please feel free to come up. Bar, are you here right now? I'm going to invite you because I want to ask you if you and Volsey will do decon Q&A with me. While we're waiting, do I have any song requests? I can play a song for you. I don't want to make the whole show my songs, but I get like antsy when it's like dead air. I get I don't know why. I never worked in radio or television, but I always feel like it's uncomfortable. Wait, what's DJ? Oh, DJ CJ. Okay, I just got that. I'm sorry. I got some cool book. Oh, look at this book that I got, Ace. It's called Love. Oh, I don't know if you can read it, but it's called Loves and Lives of Chinese Emperors. I thought that would be so interesting. It's from 1972. It looked pretty cool. I have trouble reading though. So I'm being tested. Oh, you guys, I was supposed to be live all this week, but to be honest with you, tomorrow and Thursday, I will probably not be live. I am going to finally be tested for ADHD. And I have been trying to get tested for so long. And I finally got everything through with my insurance and my doctor and jumped through all the hoops. And I finally get to be tested. So I will most likely be back Friday. The only issue is I might have to take the car in Friday. So it might not be till Monday. I'm sorry. That is weird that anybody would expect you to work when I'm live. I think that once I go live, everybody should be entitled to a paid break to listen to me because like what? Of course. Like that just seems like it makes sense.
So I got them all put on a playlist on YT. I will.
Awesome.
I post one video a day. My video today was of Zhu Rong.
Who is that?
Oh, hang on. I gotta grab my other notebook. As I said, I'm working on my second one, so I have to grab. It's fun having to say I have to grab my other notebook. So Zhu Rong is the ancient Chinese deity of fire.
Ooh.
Yes. So he's also the ruler of the South. He's responsible for bringing fire to humanity, according to the Chinese legends. And he was known for maintaining cosmic order. He famously battled the water god Gong Gong to restore balance after a cosmic upheaval. He is associated with the five elements Wu Xing and Taoism. He symbolizes discipline, light, and the power of fire. He was depicted as a warrior with a tiger or riding dragons. He helped separate the heavens and the earth. By the way, I love getting Christians with this one because if you ever look into Shangdi, which I have a video up on Shangdi, it can piss some Christians off. So, Shangdi became heaven before heaven was a thing in the Bible.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have
Hey, you
dates and
guys, don't
everything.
stop tapping. You guys make sure you keep tapping. I need to see those hearts flying while we're live. Thank
He
you.
helped
Thank you so much.
he helped establish the universe's structure and restore balance after the chaotic battle with Gong, which explains natural phenomena like the tilting of the heavens. His central role was in the creation myths was teaching humans to use fire and fighting destructive water deities like Gong. That's like his major thing. Zhu Rong is a foundational deity in Chinese traditional culture, linked to early fire worship and later integrated into Taoist pantheons. He brought fire from heaven to humans, ending the need to eat cold food. His most famous legend involves a fierce battle with Gong that shook the world, leading to cosmic imbalance that Zhu Rong ultimately helped resolve, which I also have the okay. I don't have the video up on Gong yet, but it's coming. His ruling family, the ancestry is the ruling family of the ancient state of Chu claimed descent from Zhu Rong. Lady Zhu Rong was a historical warrior figure in the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms who claimed lineage from the fire god.
Hey, Donald Brown, if you'd like, I'd like to hear more about how free will has to do with what. I don't really understand your statement. So if you want to come up and explain that it's in the fact that all that will come can. I really don't understand that statement and how it gives me free will. So if you'd love to come up and explain it, we'd like to hear it. We'd like to understand better. Welcome in, Annika. Good to see you. Ken and Paper, good to see you. Really good to see everybody this morning. Keep tapping the screen, sharing out the live. I will, yeah, like that's what it sounded like to me too, Asher. I don't understand that statement. Either we have free will or we don't. If you're saying we will eventually get it, that means we don't have it. So then I'm not wrong that we don't have it. Like, I don't know what you're saying. But I like it that Christian men like to do this little hit and run. I'm gonna just drop a comment in the comments and then I'm gonna run. Like,
right.
Did somebody come to Christ over that? How many of you put one in chat if you now became a Christian after Donald Brown made that comment?
Can I do it sarcastically?
If you want to.
Can I do it
Hi,
sarcastically?
Kabash, welcome in. If you want to, feel free. Godwin! Oh no! Poor Godwin has
Where's
to
my
work,
eye roll
and now
emoji?
he's a Christian.
There we go. That's how
Oh,
you
my
do it
goodness.
sarcastically.
I'm doing well, Kabash. I hope you're doing well as too. Well, I'd love to have some Christians in here. I do realize that I think I'm going to start asking some of my friends who are creators that after they get done with a mog that they tell them, hey, go over and talk to my friend Crystal. And maybe they'll come over like when they're done talking to like Zena May and, Trust and, and the others who go live, because I don't know, like I seem to just get the crash outs. I was even on Sarah's show. Did you guys see that when Flowcat like just totally crashed out because I asked a question and then I crashed out after that? I'm not gonna lie. I don't like Flowcat. He's a piece of shit, but he knows I don't like him. That's probably why he did that. He knows that I don't fall for his bullshit. He's been around for a while now. All right, I'm going to play a song for you today. Let's see which one I'll start with. I'm going to go down to like my oldest first, I think. And we'll just do No Kings, No Gods. Oops. It's going to start over. Sorry. I just got restricted for bullying.
How?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just got. They said that my content could be seen as bullying.
Who the hell were you bullying?
And this is why I'm really trying to build up my YouTube content. Please, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, please go do so. Please, if you have an extra iPad or old phone or something laying around that you could go play some of my YouTube videos to get my YouTube views up. I am Crystaljae. I am CrystalJae. I am Crystaljae over on YouTube. I would really appreciate them. The link is also in my link tree. What the hell? Like literally, I haven't even talked to anybody. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Like, what are you even talking about? I have literally done nothing. I haven't even talked to anybody. How could I be bullying somebody? But it's restricted for 10 minutes because I'm a bull. I have 2 restrictions, by the way. Can you guys still hear me while I'm reading it? Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one says live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Your live is not eligible for recommendations and restricted in search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards under our community guidelines, reason, harassment, and bullying. Then it said live restricted from some audiences. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted for harassment and bullying. So I have 2 restrictions for harassment and bullying. And all I'm asking is, where is free will for women in the Bible? Is that how weak your little God is? Is that how weak your God is, Christians? That you fucking can't handle that I ask a question? Does that not show you how unstable your whole belief system is? That you are so afraid that another human being would ask a fucking question? That's not why. I don't think it could be because you said grooming, because I said rape. It's for bullying somebody. Some fucking Christian came in here and was like, oh, she's asking questions about my God, big mean atheist. You are so scared of women. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play my song. You guys, this is so apropos at the moment because fuck Donald Trump and fuck Yahweh. No kings, no gods.
They said Jacob I love, but Esau I hated. Before he took his first breath, his feet was already faded. Born red, born wild, born free in the dust. But the prophets wrote him off, told us God couldn't trust. Oh yeah. From Esau came a Malek, named they curse. They painted whole people with the blood of the first generation after generation. That rage rolled on, turned stories into weapons and called the slaughter divine law. But let me tell you something they don't want you to see. The line they drew from me so runs straight to you and me. They use that curse like a brand, like a flag in the sand to call every rebel, every outcast, every child of the land. I'm elect. No kings, no gods. We won't kneel, we won't nod. No kings, no gods. Every child deserves the dawn. So they say, wipe them out. Remember, I'm Alexian. But they don't see the mirror that they're staring in. They call them cursed, Palestinians despised. But they fighting for breath while the prophets tell
I actually control the vocals, but to me, I don't hear it, Nikki. But I get why you might. And I actually wrote the lyrics, so I definitely controlled those. So, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. The actual verses that I want to go over today, and that seem to really be upsetting a lot of the men who come up here, and I didn't realize this would upset them so much. But then I watched Zena May's live this morning, and oh my God, like the more I watch, the more I realize these people hate the scripture. Like, they do not want you to talk about scripture. They hate it. It really upsets them. They get very defensive immediately. But if we go into Numbers chapter 30, it is the most evident piece of scripture that I can find that shows that women absolutely do not have any free will when it comes to this Bible. I'm just so mad at her too, Asher. I totally understand that. She's so disgusting. And I'm going to go ahead and start in verse 1. It's only 16 verses, so I'm going to read the chapter to you. But this chapter should just piss off every woman. And after reading this chapter and then also reading in Jeremiah, I want to say 40 or 44, those two things just make me go like, fuck men and fuck Yahweh, okay? Then Moses said to the heads of the tribes of the Israelite, this is what the Lord has commanded. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. When a woman makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow or her pledge by which she has bound herself and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father expresses disapproval to her at the time that he hears of it, no vow of hers and no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will forgive her because her father had expressed to her disapproval. If she marries while obligated by her vows or any thoughtless utterance of her lips by which she has bound herself, and her husband hears of it and says nothing to her at the time that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her pledges by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if at that time her husband hears of it, he expresses disapproval to her, then he shall nullify the vow by which she has obligated, or the thoughtless utterances of her lips by which she bound herself, and the Lord will forgive her. But every vow of a widow or of a divorced woman by which she has bound herself shall be binding upon her. And if she made a vow in her husband's house, or bounded herself by a pledge with an oath, and her husband heard it and said nothing to her and did not express disapproval to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband nullifies them at the time that he hears them, then whatever proceeds out of her lips concerning her vows or concerning her pledge of herself shall not stand. Her husband has nullified them, and the Lord will forgive her. Any vow or any binding oath to deny herself, her husband may allow to stand, or her husband may nullify. But if her husband says nothing to her from day to day, then he validates her vows or all her pledges by which she is obligated. He has validated them because he said nothing to her at the time that he heard of them. But if he nullifies them sometime after he has heard of them, then he shall bear her guilt. These are the statutes that the Lord commanded Moses concerning a husband and his wife and a father and his daughter while she is still young and in her father's house. Her fucking words are not her own.
That's what
Where
they want
is
to
the
teach
free
women.
will?
And that's what they want
When
to
you
teach
read
women.
that, yeah, her own words don't even matter. They just don't matter, you know? And I don't know how you read that and say that everybody has free will with God, because women clearly do not have free will with God.
Oh, but you know their favorite verse to use whenever it's something from the Old Testament.
No, which one is that?
Oh, though they like using the fact that Jesus came back to and unalive for all of us, so that way the old covenant could be broken. Even though it quite seriously
But
says
Jesus said that that the covenants are never broken. Once a new covenant is made, the old covenant doesn't disappear. That's not biblical. So they can come up with all the excuses they want. Jesus tells you that he didn't come to do away with not one law nor one thing a prophet said. So, but that verse, those verses, they take away the women's very words, as she says. They have power over those. A father and a husband can literally own what a woman says. And then when we turn to Jeremiah 44, verses 15, we find out that before these fucking men came to these women and said, hey, we got this God, his name is Yahweh, and we're all going to worship this dude now, everything was fine. And you know who they were worshiping? Let's find out who they were worshiping. In verse 15, Jeremiah 44, it says, then all the men who were aware that their wives had been making offerings to other gods, and all the women who stood by a great assembly, all the people who lived in Pathros in the land of Egypt, answered Jeremiah, as for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of the Lord, we are not going to listen to you. Instead, we will do everything that we have vowed, make offerings to the Queen of Heaven, and pour out libations to her, just as we and our ancestors, our kings and our officials used to do in the towns of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. We used to have plenty of food and prospered and saw no misfortune. But from the time we stopped making offerings to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out libations to her, we have lacked everything and have perished by the sword and by famine. And the women said, indeed, we will go on making offerings to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out libations to her. Do you think that we made cakes for her, marked with her image, and poured out libations to her without our husbands being involved? They were fine. And then the men introduced this fucking misogynistic, patriarchal Yahweh, and their lives turned to shit. They were enslaved. They were wandering in a desert without any GPS. What? It's crazy to me. Hey, Board, good to see you. You guys, if you're not following Board Agnostic, you should. Board has so many good conversations. Also, Board is like a very calming person. Like very, they don't crash out like I do, okay? They're a lot more even keeled. And I love all of Board's friends too, because they're all so fucking smart. It's just amazing. Yeah, there is a lot of missing stuff about Asherah. That's why in the song Ex Parte I mentioned with Asherah race, they gave us no choice, but no God, no man could silence her voice. And with that, while we're waiting for people to join us, you guys keep sharing out the live, keep tapping the screen. I would do a restart, but as I said, they just don't work for me. So we got to get people in here by doing all this stuff. I'm going to go ahead and play Ex Parte. Actually, the next song I'll play is Miss Me Without Misogyny, and then we'll go to Ex Parte in a little bit. No, I'll go ahead and do Ex Parte right now. we'll do ex parte, and yeah, I talk about Ashra, and I talk about Shekinah. And the Shekinah, I know that in Pentecostal's teaching that you're taught Shekinah glory, but after talking to my rabbi friends, I learned that Shekinah is the female essence of the God. And that's another thing we're just not taught, as she's like the divine feminine, really, you know? And we're not taught that as Christians. We're just not taught that there's anything good that comes from the feminine. And so here is ex parte.
I hope I'm not late to the party. I've got something to say, and I want every gentleman here to have a front row seat for this ex party. Ex party for the ladies. One side talks, one side stays mute. You carved your covenant in marble, but forgot the feet that swept the pews. We bore the sons that filled these seas, and you signed the pact without the wound that bleeds. I call this court to order, heaven and earth bear witness today. Let the record show from the garden's first spring, the blame had a woman's name. Two men sat in the shade of a tree, Adam and Yahweh right in history. They needed a scapegoat, they signed the brief. From that moment on, sin's name was Eve. Leave two men alone, it's always the same. If they can't find a woman, they'll make one to blame. This is my ex parte, my one woman plea. You created calamity and tried to frame me. You called it divine, but the terms were deceived. I stand unbound with chains at my feet. Oh, at Sinai's peak, no woman was hurt. Shekinah silenced, her fate secured. Let the judge and jury see. The law can't bind what we didn't concede. The contract is known as divine. May the record show no woman signed. We never needed a savior or lamb, because the truth is sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. Oh, in the land of Egypt we lit the flame. Our mother's prayers, our songs unashamed. We worship the heavens, the stars, the seas. We knew the truth before their decrees. At Sinai the men left us behind, abandoning women, blind leading the blind. We bore the children, we kept the fire. They stood on our backs as they climbed higher. Once our rituals were pure, hands in the earth, spirit sure. With Asherah raised, they gave us no choice. But no God, no man can silence the voice. May you please the court to hear my battle cry. We denounced the God, we denounced the lies. The pens were theirs, the scrolls they made. It is man's guilt and man that needs saved. Rise up now, we hold the power. It's time they bow. Fine, I was never ours to share. Without the glory, there's no guilt to bear. Every woman today stands free. If sin is owned, man holds the deed. The contract is null as defined. May the record show no woman signed. We never needed a savior or lamb, because the truth is sin's name is man. Yes, sin's name is man. Yes, the truth is sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. Yes, the truth is sin's name is man. Sin's name is man.
This is the kind of men, the caliber of men that the Christian community has. Wolfie says, "Hi, Mrs. Crystal. Thanks for the opportunity to laugh at you with my friends. It was funny to share with women your behavior and conduct. But he's such a pussy, he can't even come up here and talk to me because he has nothing. He doesn't have any women that he's laughing with. He doesn't. He has no substance to his arguments. He has nothing. But that's okay. We understand. If I had if I had a low IQ, I probably wouldn't want to come up and talk either. I wouldn't have a conversation, especially when I'm scared of women. And obviously, Wolfie is very scared of women. That's okay. I know you're a weak little man. That's okay. I see you. You're just a dime a dozen. Oh, you can't hear me. There's too much music. That's weird. There's no music playing right now, Pumpkin. But you have nothing. You have no substance. You have no valid arguments. We know. And if you think that at 6 years old, I give a flying fuck if strangers are laughing at me, then you actually don't know anything about me. Atheists, Satanists, and witches, they thought it was funny she wasn't strong enough to help. The fuck are you saying? Like, they don't even make coherent comments. So, Wolfie, if you don't come up and talk to me, what's going to happen is my mods are going to mute you in chat. Because you don't get to sit there and spew off your hateful fucking misogynistic bullshit if you're too weak to come up and have a conversation. Obviously, you're super scared. And I would be too. I'm sure that I'm intimidating. Hey, Dugald, you can come up if you want. Exactly. We're all laughing at Wolfie right now. Oh no, one more comment and they're going to mute you. They will mute you. I promise you. You either come up here or they are going to mute you. Just calling me weak doesn't make me weak, Pumpkin. You're going to need to back that up with something. I'm calling you weak because your ass won't come up here and talk to me. And apparently all the women you hang out with are weak ass too because they don't come up and talk to me either. All right, you guys, go ahead and mute him. Oh no, I know, Tahir, what will I do? Somebody thought I was weak. Oh, I'm going to go cry. Somebody's laughing at me. I'm going to go cry. Do they think that coming in here and just insulting people is going to make them shut everything down and they'll never talk about this again? Because I've already got my next song started. I've already got my next sermon started. I won't stop talking about it just because you insult me. I know that you insult people. That's all Christians have is hatred. You pretend to be this cult of love and acceptance while all the while being a cult of supremacy and hatred. You are a blood cult, a doomsday cult with nothing but hatred. Oh no, don't unfollow me. Oh shit. Hey Artie, good to see you. You guys, the guest box is open. I guess I could change the topic. It seems like this one, like they get too upset. Like it's crazy to me how upset they get. We'll try this one. Because this question is because a lot of times we will ask why God doesn't do something, and they will say like he can't, as if there's some like rule or something that he has to abide by. And I want to know, like, if there is some kind of rule or system that God has to abide by, that means something has to be more powerful than their God. Like, Lavender, you are. Actually, in my opinion, this soda can is more powerful than their God. At least it does something, right? It does something. But no, seriously, Lavender, you are more powerful than their God. You need to know that, okay? But like, they will say, yeah, unfortunately, even Wolfie is more powerful than Yahweh. Oh man, people who live on their knees get upset when people stand up and walk away. Ooh, I love that. It's true. Oh, and I heard an insult. I should have used it. I heard an insult this week, and I am determined to use this. Like I've used it once already, and I want to use it again. Somebody said to a man, I do not take advice from somebody whose G spot is in their ass. I was like, that is amazing. That is hilarious. I should have said that to Wolfie. I don't take criticism from somebody whose G spot is in their ass. I should have said that. I love that insult. It's so true. Why should I listen to you? Well, I think it's apropos to play Miss Me with that misogyny now that we heard that misogynist. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. Oh, Father Mark, I don't know. I get so many misogynists. I like they flock to my channel. I don't know. We muted him, so he probably ran away because if they can't spew their hatred in the comments, they usually run. They definitely won't come up and talk to me because they have nothing to offer me in the way of conversation. But here it is. Miss Me with that misogyny.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You don't my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You raid our bodies, dismiss our brains, then cry not all men again. Miss me with your tone, Miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me with that massage. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm the star. You're just an extra, baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny.
Tomorrow, I have an evaluation appointment. I don't know how long that'll take. If it doesn't take very long, I will go ahead and go live tomorrow. Thursday, I do have my testing. That is going to be an all-day thing for me. So I will not be live on Thursday. But if I don't have to do an oil change on Friday, I will be back on Friday. Hi, Father Mark. How are you today?
Hi, I am so sorry that you had to deal with that young man. Yeah, he's not my favorite person either. I'm actually kind of shocked to even see him in here. Not only
Oh,
was
you've
he,
dealt with him before.
oh, not only was he incredibly disrespectful to my dear friend and colleague Rabbi Hanna, he's also
Mm.
really anti-Semitic. So, uh,
Oh, wow.
and if he's still in here, that's the exact reason why I don't talk to you, is because you're anti-Semitic and you're disrespectful. So he's
Yeah,
still in here,
that's
but
I don't know if he is either, but that's not shocking at all, is it? A misogynist who's also anti-Semitic. That's crazy.
it's a really disgusting behavior for somebody who professes to be a Christian. Just gonna put that out there.
It really is. It really is. It's
Um,
always wild to me that you could be Christian and anti-Semitic, and then yet your favorite book was written by Jewish people. It's just crazy.
yeah, it's mind-boggling to me. He's also a self-proclaimed exorcist.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, coming from somebody who has
Oh my
actually
god.
done exorcisms before. Sit down.
That is crazy. That
Um,
is crazy.
I used to tell people, especially like him, just because you use the name of Jesus doesn't make you an exorcist. And Satan is probably laughing at you, but that's okay. Not that you care. You
That
know,
is hilarious.
I'm just so
Don't
sick of.
forget to be a better.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I am not insulted or offended by his insults. I just don't like it when he talks to other people that I care about that way.
Yeah,
Uh,
he just wanted me to feel bad about myself, but really, like, honestly, first of all, I would have to care about you in order for me to be hurt by something you say. If I don't know you, I don't care what you say about me. Like, why would I? I don't value your opinion anyway. I literally just met you through a blurb in my chat. Why would I care what you have to say about me?
yeah, 2026 Father Mark is not the kind and gentle priest that everybody met last year. So I gave up trying to be nice. I'll always be kind,
But
but niceness is subjective.
we get spicy Father Mark now, huh?
Yeah, simply because I got sick of everybody else's crap. So I was like, okay, well, if that's the way that you want to be talked to and dealt with, then I will oblige you. You're just not going to like the way in which I respond, which is okay. I mean, for me, I'm
Yeah,
like, if you're going to go be butthurt, go cry to your mommy.
exactly. Exactly. I actually love that too, Ty here. If you are a believer of the God of the Bible, I'm asking right now, what is more powerful than God? And the reason I'm asking that is quite often when we talk about certain scriptures in the Bible, Christians will tell us that God can't do something. I don't understand what's the restraint on him. If he is the ultimate power, the ultimate being, then why can't he do some things? What is more powerful than him? What is preventing him?
That's a really
And I
good
haven't
question.
figured that out.
Um, are we looking at this academically, or are we looking at this purely from a Christian standpoint?
Any way at all, because when I look at it academically, first of all, I don't actually see him being the most powerful, right? Like I see him powerful, but I actually see him make more claims than what he is. I think that he's kind of braggadocious, if you will. And I think that that would be very common for that era for a god to do that, right? Like in the Bronze Ages, right? They did boast, right? That I have the best God. No, I do, type of thing. But in the book itself, in the scriptures, it seems that he's not like perfect the way we consider it. He doesn't know everything. He's not all powerful. There are things that defeat him, steel chariots, stuff like that. But for Christians, like I'll say something like, well, why doesn't, God heal all the babies with cancer because people always bring that one up. And the Christian will say, oh, well, because he can't do that. And I'll say, but like, why can't he do that? And they'll go, oh, well, because that would go against his nature. Well, what is stopping him from going against his nature? I don't understand. What's the force? What is more powerful than him if you're saying he's all powerful?
So I would say from an academic viewpoint, we understand that God is not uh he doesn't have omni properties. And I had a conversation about this with Rabbi Hannah. The God that we see in the Old Testament, Adonai, um, does not have those omni properties. Um, and so I think that makes God a lot more human, or human as in characteristics, as Christians see him. Christians don't see him that way. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I've had that conversation with Rabbi Hannah before too, and it was very interesting to me to realize because I grew up, hey Orion, in a Christian household and with all the Christian dogma and everything that is attached with it. So, in my view, as a Christian, I believed God was all powerful, all loving, all knowing, and all present. Like I thought all those things were true. It wouldn't be till I deconstructed that I was like, oh wait, some of those would make it a logical impossibility. I didn't really understand that, right, until after I deconstructed. And then when I would talk to like Rabbi Hannah, she was like, well, Judaism doesn't teach that. I'm like, then why did Christianity?
yeah, well, the majority of Christian doctrine and dogma that we get is from St. Paul, not Christ himself. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of teachings that are based directly off of Jesus, but a lot of our core beliefs aren't Christian, if you will. Um, they are Pauline in nature. So I think that's really interesting too.
I do too. And I do talk a lot of Christians about that. I think that that was one thing I didn't understand either is how much most of my beliefs is stemmed around the teachings of Paul and not actually what Jesus himself said. I didn't even realize there was a difference until I deconstruct. There's so much I learned after I had already stopped believing in the God of the Bible. Through listening to these conversations here on TikTok and YouTube and so forth, and talking to people like Rabbi Hannah and Justin and Joel and Mezzo, I started to just like really realize that, wait, Paul and even the disciples didn't like agree with each other. What are you talking about? I didn't understand any of that.
Just wait till I blow your mind a little bit more. Christianity was not monotheistic. It never has been. Up until, well, I guess we could call it monotheistic now. but that depends on your definition of the Trinity. But
Yeah.
Christianity was not a monotheistic religion. It was a polytheistic religion. And it was a death cult or a collection of death cults. Christianity had no real structure in the first century. It wasn't until the
Oh,
second and third centuries where we see the early church fathers starting to actually sit down and say, okay, what is it exactly that we believe? Um, and the reason I say it was polytheistic is because a lot of early Christians didn't stop worshiping their gods. They just kind of adopted the Christian idea of God into their practice. So you would see a lot of Hellenistic pagans that were Christians because they followed the teachings of Jesus, but they still, in their own personal practices, still worshiped their gods.
that's interesting. That is
Uh,
very interesting.
it blew my mind when I learned that in seminary, and now I teach that same class, so I get to blow my students' minds every year, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like,
There's
"Yeah."
so many things. There's so many things that still blow my mind when I'm going through the book or when I'm listening to people talk about the scriptures and what have you. I think that there can't be something else that I didn't know, and then there is. There's like, wait, did you know this thing? And I'm like, what? Oh my god, I did not know that.
Even after
Um,
6 years and 2 degrees, I still learn stuff, and I'm like, "Wait, what? Wait a minute."
it's crazy. And I love learning new stuff, so I don't want it to stop. Like I feel like truly if you stop learning then you stop living, in a way. I love learning new things.
Yeah, Nick is one of my favorite students to have. He always brings such good questions to the table. And then to watch Nick turn around, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes,
Nick
Nick's
Graves.
one of my best
Yeah,
friends.
okay. Yeah,
So
I know. I
yes.
was like, wait a minute. Are we on the same page
Yes.
here? To watch Nick
Yes.
turn around and use the things that he's learning in class and use it against Christianity, I'm like,
I
I'm
love
I'm equipping the devil at this point. And I
it.
love it
Nick is
because
so smart.
when people try to argue with Nick, Nick is like, no. And they're like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, you're right. And Nick's like, I know I'm right. Our seminary, we have some of the best educators. And yes, I am bragging. But because we don't do things from a doctrinal standpoint, we do things from an academic standpoint. Um, things are so much easier. Things are so
And I love
much
that.
easier.
I really, Nick brings a wealth of knowledge and Nick retains knowledge. So hey, Jackal69, if you want to come up and join the conversation, whether you're a believer or not a believer, come on up. I sent you an invite. You're more than welcome to join us up here. Nick taught me a lot about like hell and Satan and stuff. I think that I sent people to him all the time for that type of information because I think when you're first deconstructing, a lot of times that's the biggest fear, right? Like if I'm making a mistake, I'm gonna go to hell, and we've been taught so many misconceptions of hell and so many confusing things. The Bible itself is confusing, about
Oh,
hell
yeah,
in my opinion.
absolutely. Well, the
And
first thing I tell people who are deconstructing is deconstruction does not necessarily mean atheism. I've
that's right.
deconstructed twice now, and I'm still a Christian. Um, but it just means that I look at things in a very, very different light than how I would have looked at them growing up evangelical. I grew up
Right.
evangelical, so, I thought Catholics were, these horrible, awful people, and now I am one. It's like it's like I believe that Catholics were the spawn of Satan, and now I am one. So
I grew up Methodist, and Catholic best friend's mom thought I was the spawn of Satan. So, but I always wanted to be Catholic because I liked all the rituals. Like that was really cool to me. There was something very like because we don't have any of that. I always call Methodist like if a s'mores is the best dessert to ever have, and you're like, because it's so gooey and chocolatey and yummy and easy to make. Uh, and that would be like the Pentecostal church because there's so much like wild stuff in the Pentecostal church, right? Methodists are a graham cracker, just a plain boring graham cracker. We have nothing. We don't. We had no, speaking into. I mean, I guess they do believe it, but nobody does that. They don't do that. Okay. There's no speaking in tongues. There's no prayer beads, like rosaries. There's no rituals. There's no nothing. You go in, you sing a hymn or two, and maybe only a few verses for it. When we do we don't call them sacraments in the Methodist church, but when you take First Holy Communion, or you take communion, that's what we call it. We don't call it First Holy Communion either. When you take communion, you don't even get out of your seat half the time. They bring you the little wafer and juice.
I actually, so surprisingly enough, so as a Catholic, you know that we use a chalice and a paten and an
Yes.
altar.
I love that.
Um, I actually have the tray that you put the little glass cups in and fill them up with juice, and then you pass them around. Um, I don't
That's
know how
cool.
I ended up getting them. I have a set.
That's really cool.
Godwin, there is no way you actually like eating communion bread.
I actually do. It's like a weird thing where I don't care. It's bland. I like it.
That's really,
That
I'm
is
a
so
Catholic
funny.
archbishop and I can't stand communion bread. I think it tastes terrible. To me, it tastes like styrofoam. Although I did find one. It was by a company called Euchrista, and they have a whole grain version, and that actually has some flavor to it.
That's funny.
The
Oh, Mark,
the
the key
plain
is
ones
letting
from
it melt in
Covenant.
your mouth. That's the
Yeah, no,
key.
then it gets stuck to the roof of your mouth and you sit there and pick at it with your
That's
tongue the
true.
rest of the service.
It's like Wonder Bread. It gets stuck to the
Yeah,
roof of my mouth.
it does, and then
I
I'm sitting
will
there
say
trying to flick it out with my tongue.
I will say that drinking grape juice immediately takes me back to communion at it because that's what they used was like grape juice concentrate at my church. I don't
I
know what
have
you
like the
guys
worst
use.
job because I don't like the altar bread. I think it tastes like styrofoam, and I do not like wine at all. Like I don't even
Oh
drink
no.
wine just like in my free time. I don't like wine, but we use wine, so I take very small sips because I can't. It
The Catholic church that I grew up near, we had a an Irish priest there, and he liked that wine. He liked
Oh
that
yeah.
wine a little bit too much
Oh
sometimes,
yeah.
Father Keller.
There are priests who get themselves in big trouble because they'll, sneak back to the sacristy and take a couple swigs of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like wine to begin with. So, and I've tried all kinds of different wines for the Eucharist. I've tried ports, I've tried
I
desserts, and none of it tastes good to me.
I'm not a big fan of wine either, and I found that it's because of tannins. That's what's in wine that I don't like. I don't like the taste of tannins, and to me, no, even on your sweetest wine, there's going to be a bitter taste, and that's the tannins, and I don't like that.
I wonder if that's what it is for me. It could just be that it tastes like rotten grapes, which
It
um,
could just be that.
Y'all
I
need a good
just
aerator.
Absolutely.
You need a good aerator to get rid of those tannins.
I
If you
just
splash it around in the air, it actually kills the tannins and it's more palatable. But
I've
you gotta
tried
sound
I
like a
have to try
everything.
champ.
something.
Decanters, the big decanting flasks. I just can't. I even
Hey
tried
kids.
non-alcoholic wine and that was bad.
Oh
You're not
no.
obliged to, are you?
We have to use wine. It's it's in our canon law. Now, there are some priests, if you're an
Hey,
alcoholic,
Recluse.
you're allowed to use grape juice, but I'm not an alcoholic, so I'm not allowed to.
What
I
if
have
you thin it out
Oh.
with ice or water and splash it around with air? Like I said, the air kills the tannins.
I mean, I'm willing to try and I mean, I still drink it because it's part of the ritual, it's part of the service. You know, I don't want to set a bad example for people, but like if you watch my face, if you guys have ever seen me live stream a mass, if you watch my face, you can see the pure disgust on my face as I drink it.
It's
And it's not because
hilarious.
I feel that it's unholy. It's not because I feel that it's, as a Catholic, obviously, I believe that it's truly the body and blood of Christ. But it's not that that grosses me out. It's the taste of the wine that grosses me out. So you will see the look of disgust on my face as I drink it. And I'm sure people are
One
like,
time I had to
he
tell
must
you
be
a funny
possessed.
thing about. We had a pastor at the last church I went to. I won't say his name because I actually still like him. If it was a pastor I didn't like, I'd go ahead and say his name. No. Anyway, my son was probably around 10 or 12 years old, and the pastor said, I have never had 1 ounce of wine past these lips. And he said it so proudly and boldly. And my son, without missing a beat, turns to me and he goes, well, Jesus drank wine.
That's
I was
true.
like, why are you bragging? Like, it's so, I don't know why you think that's a brag. The Bible doesn't tell you not to drink wine. It doesn't say that. So
It
why are you
says to
bragging
not
that you
drink
have it?
alcohol in excess. It doesn't say not to drink alcohol, period.
Exactly.
And I do
Exactly.
enjoy other alcohols. I just don't like wine. Wine is no.
I was just wondering, like, what would the Eucharist be if we switched it for whiskey? Would that be okay, Father Mark? Could you just put a little Jack
So,
Daniels
I
in there?
mean, I have tried to get around it, but canonically, we're not allowed. But I'm not saying that, if I put a little fireball in there because it looks close enough to wine that, maybe nobody, maybe nobody will notice.
We wrote the New Tennessee Revised Edition and just replaced the word wine with whiskey.
There you go.
Would be wonderful. I actually do enjoy whiskey every once in a while. I don't drink a lot anyways, so it's not something that I do frequently, but I do enjoy alcohol every once in a while. And even then, I have one or two drinks.
Asher said, isn't there a proverb that says poor people should drink? And the proverb you're thinking of is 31, 6 and 7. Give strong drink to one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. So
I'm
go
preaching
and
that in a
get your
sermon one
ass
day.
drunk.
Yep, I'm preaching that in a
Just,
homily one year.
hell yeah. Go get drunk and forget your troubles, y'all.
So
Born
I
again
will
atheist,
admit,
thanks for
Shadow,
checking in.
I am not a partier. I am very boring. Ask Nick. I'm very fun to be
No,
around.
Father Mark is not an atheist. Godwin is an atheist, and I am an atheist, but I'm an ig-theist with an I.
What does that mean?
But you all love atheists, and atheists go to heaven. I do love atheists, but there is no heaven in my worldview. So no, I don't think that. I don't think that we go to heaven because I don't think there is one.
Even if there was, we're not guaranteed heaven anyways. Just saying.
Are you, Bonsoir, do you want to come up and chat? You guys, the guest box is open. Shadow, welcome in. Boma, welcome in. If anybody wants to come up, we're just hanging out and talking. I will be live for about another 50 minutes, unless we meet the gift goal, which since we haven't had really any Christians come up today, I don't think that will happen. But if you are a believer and you want to come up and talk to me, I am talking today right now about why what is more powerful than God?
Hey girl, I
God
got a
can't
few
do
minutes. I am
something.
jamming out to consent,
hey.
doing the fucking laundry. Girl, I'm telling you, like I am unholy in this goddamn house.
I
Oh,
love
good. I'm really glad
Reckless.
you're enjoying. I'm
Reckless
so
is one of my
glad.
favorites. We just met the other day.
Yes, you have so much to give, Father Mark. I just absolutely love, how compassionate you are. So
Um,
amazing.
Hey,
that's the
Reckless.
weird thing
Nice to meet you.
when you're actually a Christian, it gets really weird when you're actually nice to other people.
I know it. And I took your advice, Crystal, and I've been doing like the reading at night with my son. And so
Oh, good.
we went down to one nightmare last night. So something is
Oh, good.
happening. I think when, you have a book and it's positive and all of that, I think it helps. So we're getting
It does help.
somewhere.
I will tell you that for myself, because I do have depression, anxiety, bipolar, ADHD, I got it all, right? So I can't, because I have it, I go through phases, right? With ADHD, I don't always have the same thing going on, like, right? But anyway, so there are times where I absolutely cannot put any negativity into my mind before I go to sleep. I will watch 12 episode of the Golden Girls so
Oh,
that
I
I can
love
fall
that.
asleep because
Yeah.
because it's comforting and it's nice and it's funny and it doesn't bring negativity into my brain before I go to sleep. There are other times where I can fall asleep to Dateline. so I don't know why that happens, but that's just true. Like,
I used to fall asleep to 2020 when Hugh Downs and Barbara Walters had it. That was my jam when I was younger. But now I think they both passed away. And I don't even think they're doing 2020 anymore.
I used to fall asleep to Forensic Files, and my
Ooh.
husband was convinced that I was subliminally getting messages on how to do away with him and get away with it. And I was like, honey, let's be realistic. All these people got caught. If I do what they did, I'm going down, okay? I'm actually trying to learn from their mistakes is what I'm trying to do. But since you are listening to consent, I'm going to play that for everybody right now
Yes!
because we haven't
Oh
played
my
that
God.
today. So let's play consent for everybody. You guys, my album is out everywhere you stream music. It's called Ex Parte. This is one of the songs from the. I got a phone call. Sorry about that. It's called Consent, and I wrote this song because I had some Christians in one of my friends' Discord servers that just could not understand what consent was, and when they didn't listen to me about it, I wrote a song about it. So here you go for all of you who want to know what consent is. Here you go. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Consent. It's not an option to me. Consent. Respect the boundaries. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying. No praying. No touch, don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. You love your neighbor, but you better ask first. You prey on trauma with that holy thirst. You'll catch these hands if you lay hands on me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Hey, if you don't get it, yes, you'll never have consent. I submit, bitch, don't get it then. My body ain't a toy, dude, don't even play it without consent. Keep your filthy hands away. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Get your pop coming up.
C-O-N-S-E-N-T. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying. No praying. No touch, don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. 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 Consent.
That's Consent. It is on the album titled Ex Parte. The artist you're looking for is Crystaljae, J-A-E. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna make you big. Hi, baby. Oh, you're so cute.
I do have to go, guys. I am so glad I got to come up here and chit chat with you guys, but I have some office work and other bishopy stuff to get done today, unfortunately.
Well, thank you for joining us, Father Mark. We
Of
appreciate
course.
you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye, guys.
Take care, Father Mark.
Bye.
Take care.
Here. Oh, Jezebel, you're such a good girl. Yes.
What a good girl.
Yes.
Devil's Public Defender, thank you for the gifts. I really appreciate you. You're amazing. I appreciate it so much. You guys, I'll be live for about another 45 minutes. Again, when I say I'm going to go live, I'll stay for the full 3 hours. Even if we don't get Christians, we'll talk, we'll listen to music, we'll hang out. I can answer your questions. If you have a Bible question, do you have a question about my deconstruction? But if you
Oh my
wouldn't
God,
mind,
Crystal, can I
Reckless,
ask this quick? Oh my God.
yeah,
So
go ahead.
I've did you hear Trust Live? I think it was a couple of days when he was trying to fix his equipment. And anyway, me
No, I
and Lowe's
didn't
were
see that.
talking, and it was about foreskins. Like the whole fucking conversation was about foreskins.
There's a lot of that in the Bible.
I had no idea. I was like, who's
Yeah.
collecting fucking foreskins? Like, if God wanted a covenant, wouldn't it be flowers or, leaves? Why does it have to be someone's end of the dick?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he just really loves Dick. I think it's really evident in the Bible, throughout the entire Bible, that God loves Dick. He just does.
It's
As
wild.
a matter of fact, like, Thinker has been asking this really good question lately, and it really gets people upset. But here's the thing. If God made Adam and then he made every animal before he made Eve so that they could procreate, when did Adam get like a penis and testicles and all of that?
Oh,
Because why would
that's
he need it
interesting.
before there was a woman to even use it with?
Right. That's wild.
I'm just wondering. I'm just saying. You guys, could you do a commercial for me, Reckless? Tell people like to tap the screen and share the live and all that while I use
Yes. Let's tap the screen and share out Crystal's live. She is just an amazing content creator. And let's get those numbers up. Tappy, tappy, tappy. Absolutely. And I should repost myself too. And if you don't know where to share, you can go to the end where there's an arrow and it will tell you to repost.
Hey, Reckless, I'm here at work. I can barely get on and talk, but the conversation you were saying about the foreskins, you know, like King David had to collect like I don't know, 100 of them or 200 for dowry. Now, what do you think they made out of it? Do you think they they made like a wallet that could expand into luggage or something?
Oh my gosh, I was telling Walt, I said, they could almost make it into a sporting event, instead of this javelin throw, they could do the foreskin throw.
Like a scavenger hunt.
Right. That's why it's like, I'll never eat pork rinds again, because every time I look at pork rinds, I think of foreskins.
It's funny, I'm in the mood for calamari right now. I can't figure out why. I gotta get back to work, sorry.
Okay, I am back. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Jared, how are you? Welcome in. Ken, you can come up and show us your fur baby if you want to. We
Fur
like
babies
fur
are
babies
amazing.
here.
How many cats do you have, Crystal? They're so beautiful.
I have 6.
Holy shit.
I don't want 6. Okay, to be fair, I actually have 1 cat, okay? But what happened was that my daughter and hey, how do I say your name? Oreo?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, can you give me just 1 second?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So what happened was, I'm so happy to be back, Boma, and I love seeing you. That my daughter and her fiance moved in with us, and they each had their own cat, so that gave us 3. But then during COVID, somebody dumped 3 kittens on my property, and the shelters were full. They literally told us, you can bring the kittens in, but you will have to sign a paper and that says that you know that they will be destroyed. And I couldn't do it.
Oh, shit.
So now I have 6. Oreo, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
19.
Okay, and are you a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible?
Yeah, the God of Israel.
Okay, great. My question today is, what is more powerful than God? But here's why I'm asking it, okay? Like, there's a specific reason why. When I was a Christian, I didn't believe anything was more powerful than God. But the problem is, when I'm talking to Christians, they keep telling me there's things that God can't do. And
I'm
so,
a Jew,
like, they'll
not a
say,
Christian.
oh, you're Jewish?
Yeah.
Do you believe that God is all powerful? Wait, I thought you said you were Christian. Oh, you're a believer of the God of the Old Testament, not the New Testament.
Yeah, there is no New Testament, but yeah, the God of Israel.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So do you believe that God is all powerful, all knowing, all loving, and all present?
So, are you saying these things and entailing that there isn't something else? Like, if you're saying he's all loving, does that mean he doesn't judge? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe God is unconditionally loving.
I think you can judge somebody and still be all loving, because, like, as a parent, when I have to judge my child's behavior or something, I don't stop loving them when I do that.
Well, you can think of it
how
like
I
this.
do
Like,
it.
you can think of it like, for example, God has his creation. God loves his creation. The creation is one with him. However, God does judge the people by their actions. But in God's essence, meaning the essence of God, there is no difference between his creations. And I'll give you an example about this. If for example, there was a dad, and the dad had 2 sons. One of the sons was very successful. He was married. He was a very good person. The other son was a drug addict. In a case where a raging dog, entered the house and ran at one of the sons, the dad's not going to differentiate between one of the sons and the other son, because they're both his children. In the same way, in the essence, God does not differentiate between his creations, as he loves them all. However, he still judges them based on their decisions. So in that sense, you can say he is all loving, in that sense specifically.
Okay, so then I think that this question might be a better one for you. Where is free will for women in the Bible, specifically in the Jewish Bible, if you will?
Oh yeah, very simple. So number one, when we approach the Torah, we have to also approach the Masorah, which is important. The Masorah is the oral Torah. The Orthodox Jews, like me, can prove that the Masorah is from Sinai. We can prove there's an oral system that exists, and that is learned throughout all the way since Sinai, since the Torah. The oral Torah comes.
But women weren't invited to Sinai, so we never got to agree to the covenant.
That's incorrect. So that's another incorrect.
No, it's
statement.
not incorrect. We were told not to go to Mount Sinai, and men shouldn't even touch us before they went to Mount Sinai.
So
And there's an entire book about it by Judith Plaskow called Revisiting Mount Sinai, and it's not
so if you read the oral Torah and the Masorah, you would know that 600,000 men went to Sinai with their wives and their children. If there was,
then why did God put it different in the Bible? Why is there extra book that people have to read?
It's not an extra book.
No, in the
It's the whole
Bible,
system.
it says do not touch.
What?
I don't care.
You can say you
It
don't
isn't.
care.
It's
That's just
extra.
ignorance. Like that's not like that's you not knowing about the oral
Dude,
Torah.
please don't talk over me. Listen. There are people who are using closed caption for the hearing impaired. They cannot hear us if we are both talking at the same time. Stop talking over me. It is very rude.
Yeah, so, are you familiar with the oral system?
Did you want to address anything I just said about you talking over me?
Yeah, I'm sorry for talking over you.
I'm not going to talk to you if you're playing ping pong instead of actually engaging in the conversation and just trying to bulldoze over me.
I don't
It is
understand why
dismissive.
people
It
do
is rude.
that. God, it's
Because
wild.
he is 19 years old and he thinks he knows more than every other person right now. When he's 22, he's going to go, God damn, I was so stupid. When he's 28, he's going to say it again. Holy cow, how ignorant I was. But it's going to be a while because he's like playing beer pong or something right now while he's trying to have a conversation.
Right. I started doing 21 and over in my lives.
I don't blame you. Johnny, I think there's a language difference for us. So I think that you tried to come up yesterday or something, but we can't really talk because we don't speak the same language. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down because I don't even know if you understood that. I don't speak your language. I'm so sorry. And you don't speak English. It's hard to have a conversation. Oh, there is the rabbi. I wish she was here like just 3 minutes ago, right? But I want to tell her what we were talking about. Maybe she can help me understand what just happened with that Jewish young man. I'm running from languages, Meza. Look, yo puedo hablar un poquito español. Y si él habla en español, yo voy a hablar con él. Pero no, es un lengua yo no sé. Dispénsame. Ha! I only know 2 languages right now. I'm going to work on Hebrew this year, but I don't think that'll help me in conversations.
Oh, Mezzo. Mezzo's another one that's funny. We love Mezzo.
Mezzo's hilarious. Mezzo, I literally, when there was this time where like Mezzo and Joel both had shit going on and they couldn't go live, and it was like, I was like, now I'm depressed. I really became depressed because sometimes after listening to really shitty things about the world all day, it's just nice to escape with some ridiculous humor. Boma, though, does make up for it. God, I love Boma. I was showing my kids, I'm in a boat because that is so funny. That cracks me up every time. I didn't know that Boma knew angel tongue. That is so good. So she can say Reebok 12 different ways. That's so cool.
Oh, and there is a website going around. I thought I would let people know. It's by extreme right-wing Christians. They're trying to stop the LGBTQ people from adopting children and getting married. And I don't know if you'd like the website. I ended up getting knocks on my door from this shit, and they said, well, would you like to sign the petition? And I said no, because I don't even know what the fuck it is. And they're like, well, if you would just sign the petition. And it's like, no, I will not sign a fucking petition that I don't know a goddamn thing about. And if it's going to harm a community, I sure as fucking gonna sign it.
Of course not.
And so
no, actually, I have a Discord. Make sure that you join the Discord. The link is in my bio. I'm also have the Deconstruction Junction in there, but my own Discord is in there too. And I love it when you guys post links to things like that. I like us to stay informed.
Okay, I'll send it, because I know Ember was worried about it gaining attention, like people like gravitating towards it and being okay with it. But I think it needs to be, the awareness needs to be spread out, because it's not fair.
That might be true for Trust But Verify's Discord, because he allows Christians and stuff, but Christians aren't in my Discord, so,
Oh,
so I don't have
okay.
to worry about it being seen
Okay,
by
I'll send you
people
the
who will
link
go,
and then
yay!
you can do what you want with it, because I mean it's really awful. I mean, they want to stop gay marriage, they want to stop
Yeah.
you know, the
Yes, they
LGBTQ
do.
from adopting kids, and it's like, why the fuck can't they? Like, I had 2 gay neighbors when I grew up, and they were around the corner of my house, and now their kids are getting married and they're having children. And it's like,
Of course.
they adopted these beautiful, wonderful kids and they're fine parents. Why can't they adopt? It's wild to me. But then they'll go to a fucking Planned Parenthood and want to stop somebody from having an AB.
Yeah. The worst part is that they often will allow couples of the LGBTQIA to be foster parents, but then they can take care of a child for years in the foster care system and they won't allow them to adopt that same child. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So absolutely, I'm sure that there are ways to contact your representatives and let them know, I don't want any of this kind of shit to pass. I want LGBTQIA people to be treated just like every other member of society, absolutely equal on every front.
Right.
And until we are all equal, no one is equal. Like what are you talking about? Like they all should be able to adopt, get married, get divorced. Listen, why are people trying to stop the LGBTQIA from getting married? Most marriages end in divorce. If they want to be miserable like the rest of us,
Right?
of us, why are you stopping them from that? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I love my husband. 30 years now, okay? I'm just joking. Doug is my rock. See what I did there? If you know what I did there, put a 1 in the comments. If you know what I said when I said Doug is my rock, put a 1 in the comments.
That's why it's so important what we do here, because, we have to be more open and visible, or else we get pushed into the shadows.
Oh, and by the way, I never told you guys, but they did take those restrictions off my account about 5 minutes in. So it was definitely somebody reported me, even though I hadn't even talked to anybody yet. It is
wild.
crazy. And that is why I say, like, I am shadow banned. The only way you guys will know that I'm live if you all share with each other, because I am shadow banned. They do hit my account. The mogs hate me. And here's why mogs hate me, okay? It's very simple reason. Because my platform is to talk about women. My platform is to decenter men and to start centering women. I center women in my anti-sermons where I talk about the women in the Bible. I make them the focus of the Bible stories. I decenter men in the music that I write. And if I'm doing that, I am teaching their daughters, their sisters, their mothers, their wives, and their grandmothers that these men are awful. And they don't want those women to know that. So they want to shut me up. And that's why they come up and talk over me. And that's why the same men who go up and have a lovely conversation with Mezzo and Joel will come in here and cuss me out. They will call me names. They crash out within 5 minutes, no matter what. No matter how nice I try to talk to them.
I started doing a game, and I'm going to do it every week. It's called "Are You a True Christian or a Self-Righteous Dick?" And 2 men crashed out the first 5 minutes. I was like, damn, talk about fucking, control freaks. I mean, wow.
And you're right, Tahir. It doesn't matter whose panel I'm on either. They crash out. Like, even I literally didn't say anything on Sarah's Live. And then they brought up a Bible verse. And I said, I disagree. And Flowcat lost his shit that I disagree. And it's crazy, but that's okay. Every time they do that, they just show how weak they are, how weak their God is, how weak their arguments are. They prove my point by doing that. Hi, Tahir.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to the Flowcat thing yesterday. I was literally sitting there. I was floored, okay? Because first it was, why are you insulting Crystal? And he's like, well, she butted in. And then it's like, so did the other two men on the panel. And then it was like, so why are you insulting Crystal? And I was like, she keeps talking over me. And it's like, so has everybody else on the panel, and you're doing the same. And it was just like, it was so bizarre that he was not clocking that all of the things that he was complaining about you doing were things that everybody else was doing. But it's just like you and Sarah said, your voice wasn't deep enough, so he just wasn't. I don't know. It was just so freaking bizarre. But yeah, and then when you first came up there, you were literally just sitting on mute. And the minute you unmuted, it was insults. It's so wild to see.
Immediately, I was like, oh my God, I haven't said shit this whole time. And he was like, of course you would disagree. Of course, of course. Well, yeah, because you're full of shit. A Flowcat, you always have been, okay? So, and that's really what it is that I know you're full of shit and you don't want me to let the rest of the panelists know that you're full of shit. They already clocked you, by the way. Sarah clocked you 5 minutes into the conversation. Like, what are you even talking about? Ugh, so annoying.
And the other thing, too, though, is I even told Sarah this after the fact. I was like, you know what? I like that you just kind of meet them where they're at, where instead of arguing, like, nobody's, talking over you, blah, blah, blah. She's kind of like, okay, guys, stop talking over them, so we can nip that meta in the butt and then, keep on with the conversation. But it's so wild.
But it's funny, but they won't, though. You ever notice that she'll go, okay, fine, everybody stop talking. Flowcat, go ahead. What do you want to say? I don't know. I just don't want to say anything now because they just keep interrupting me. Okay, I shut them all up. Go ahead, Flowcat. What do you got to say? I don't know. It's just that they're so rude. And then if I talk, Flowcat, fucking, you have the floor. No, they don't really want the floor. They just want to cry. Because they don't have any, they have no argument for the things that we're saying. He just kept going back to Galatians. That's not a fix-all, sir. It's not duct tape or super glue. It does not fix everything.
Yeah. The other passive aggressive thing that gets on my nerves too is when they do the, can I speak now? Can I talk now? God. It's like, oh my God, just shut up and speak.
Right. It's wild. Well, my friends,
I hate that so much. I made a video about it.
I have a therapy appointment, so I'm gonna go get my head fixed another day of that. And yes, I love you guys, and I will see you later. Thanks for being here. Yes,
love
you're
you, lady.
welcome.
Have a good day.
Love you. All right.
Take care,
Have a good day.
Bye. Do you want me to drop down, or do you want to do it for the algorithm?
You can go ahead and drop down.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too, Jared. That's true. Or the go ahead after they finish a sentence. But the one where you said, like, where they go, can I talk now? A while ago, I made a meme video about it because they do it all the time. I think it's like with, like Kevin Hart or somebody is in the video or something, and he'll go, he's saying something like, can I talk? Can I talk now? Are you done? Are you finished? And I'm like, that is such like Christian men. They do that all the time.
I don't know if it was Born Again Atheist I was watching, but she used a deep voice. I think it may have been. She used a really deep voice just to mess with them, and it actually caused them to pause for a second, like you're training a dog or something. And I wondered if you got the voice changer like Dalton has. Did you?
I did it on Sarah's live like last week because Sarah said, Crystal, I don't think they could hear you because your like voice isn't deep enough. And so I said, oh, hang on, let me repeat myself. And then I said, wait a minute, let me grab my crotch while I'm at it, and then I repeated what I said.
Yeah, just to sell it.
He still didn't address it.
So funny.
He just still.
What if you got the voice changer that Dalton has? He has one that makes him sound like God. Well, I think Mezzo has one that makes him sound like God, but Dalton has one that sounds really deep. And I think it would just blow their minds if you had that at the ready.
That would be really cool. I actually have like some kind of microphone that's supposed to change my voices. I never use it for anything. I should see if it does a deep voice. I mean, the Christian church blames being punished and doomed as sinners because of a woman. Yes, it's true. They do blame a woman. And that's why I like to say that Jesus did not take on the sins of the world. Eve did. But, while you guys, I'm going to be live for 20 more minutes. If you are a believer, I want to know, where is free will for women in the Bible? And so if you can come up and share that with me, that is my question. The last guy I had was a Jewish gentleman, and he said that you have to go outside the Bible through oral tradition. And that's not my question. So we moved on from him. Also, he was rude and dismissive and just an overall prick. But I'm going to play what's right now my favorite song, but I need to write more songs. So that will change soon. This is my favorite song. It is in Hagar's voice. She is the only person in the whole Bible who names God. And she names him the God who sees. And as a Christian growing up, I was taught that meant that God sees you where you are. He sees you. He gets you. But now that I'm older, thank you, love. I love you. So can you, I don't know what I was going to say. So anyway, this is the God who sees. I don't think it was a compliment. I think it was an indictment, and that's what this song says. And I love that. Hey, Amber. If you're friendly, you're welcome to come up.
Men didn't have the nerve to name you, not with truth, not with blood on their hands. They spoke around you, over you, safe behind their power and plans. They praised what you did for them. They trembled as you gave your name. They wouldn't dare think to name you. No, that would be my claim to fame. I didn't bow when you found me alone. No one else to hear what I'd say. You didn't offer a name for me to whisper, so I named you from my view of you that day. You didn't offer me a covenant, no altar, no future, no claim. What I had was a body for trading, and the courage to give you a name. The God who sees, nothing can hide from you. The God who sees, nothing outside your view. You saw it, 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 you saw it. The story's been told for generations, passed along from voice to ear. I called you the God who sees, but it's not how it appears. Like a game of telephone, it traveled, every telling changed the view. Each preaching made it softer, each repeat a little more askew. You saw it, you saw it. Far from my home, isolated, afraid, a body alone in a borrowed land. You saw me doing what I had to do, trying to obey their every command. You saw the cruelty, saw it plain, saw it hand me over like a toy. You saw what was taken again and again. You saw my body and heart destroyed. I ran when escape came into view. Believe distance might set me free, but you found me there in the wilderness and sent me back to what you could see. I named you the God who sees. They heard it as something kind. They said you saw my heart, said it was part of your design. It was never meant to compliment. I named you the God who sees. It was always an indictment. You see it all and do nothing. You see the children, you see their pain, their hunger, their bruises, their abuse. head fit, I named you the God who sees. You saw it, 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 you are the God who sees. You saw it, you saw it, you saw it.
That's the God who sees. I've said this before, and when I was writing that song, I do a lot of research when I write. And I think that's my favorite part about the writing is doing the research for it. And I wanted to know, were there other people who also felt that that wasn't a compliment, that she was saying, you're the God who sees, you see what's happening and you're not doing anything. And it just felt really good to know that there were a lot of women who felt that way, and they were feminists, and they were Jewish, and they were well read, and they too felt like, no, that wasn't a compliment. She was giving him an indictment when she said that.
She was calling his ass out.
Yeah,
We're sitting up there watching this.
And I think Mary did the same. And I think that we gloss over that. That Mary called herself a slave to the Lord. She is telling people, I don't have a choice in this. I'm being forced to do this. I'm a slave. And we pass over that verse, because the translation says servant. The translation, softens the language, and that's what they do, right? They soften the language, and they dismiss the atrocities that have happened to girls and women in the Bible, and try to make it seem so much less than what it was, right?
Hey, Crystal.
Yeah,
Could I give a plug for someone
absolutely.
in the community?
Absolutely.
It's relevant. You guys were talking about what was similar to, really close to talking about Project 2025. And Christy Burke is on YouTube. She has a show called Jezebel Vibes, and she normally does anti-apologetics, but about her deconversion. But she's actually been like railing against Project 2025 with many videos. If you're interested in learning about it, I recommend following her. She's really cool.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that's over on YouTube. Is she on TikTok as well, or just on YouTube?
I haven't looked for her on TikTok yet. I've always watched her on YouTube.
If everybody over on YouTube, whether you're over on the Deconstruction Junction or on my channel, head over there and make sure that you subscribe to her channel. Let's show her some love and support. Yeah, as long as we don't plug Darth Dawkins or no degree required, right, Jared? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Krist, Krist, Burke, Burke, Jezebel Vibes. Check
Christy,
that out.
sorry, I left typo the I. There's an I on there.
Okay, Kristi, Burke. I know I haven't seen him in a while either, Jared. I haven't either, but I think that it's probably because he's just like pissed off too many people. So he probably went somewhere else to argue with atheists. Like he has switched platforms many times, like Reddit to TikTok to Facebook.
Jareb is no degree required. Pass it on.
Oh my God, it's true. I never see the two of them in the room at the same time. Oh, I love when this kind of stuff comes out on my show. He's running. We knew you would run, no degree.
You heard it here first.
No Jareb required. All right, let's do one more song, and then I'm going to end for today. I will be back tomorrow. We are not doing non-believers Bible study until next Thursday. And we're doing Thursdays now so that hopefully Rabbi Bert can join us a little bit more often. We'll be starting at 10 instead of 11 because then hopefully Rabbi Bert can join us a little bit more often. Oh, you did? I'm sorry you had to see that. I'm sorry you had to deal with seeing that. Okay, let's do, this is another one of everybody's favorites. It is Abelina Ballerina. I don't know if Boma is still in chat, but she did pop in today. I love Boma, and as you know, you guys, this is based on her character or little name that she created, Abelina, and a lot of people just love this. It's some good old bluegrass. Okay, get your tissue, Boma. Get your tissue. I love you.
I was gonna say I'm gonna drop down and go cry in the comments.
Okay, I love you, Tayyip.
Love you.
Abelina Ballerina, spinning in her tutu. All the world's a stage, lacing up her ballet shoes. Abelina Ballerina, they applaud as you dance. You're so precious, little angel. Dance away if you can. Abelina Ballerina, wooden floor counting time. In the mirror she's a swan, arabesque in pink tights. Abelina Ballerina, sitting still in a pew. Preacher says that light you feel doesn't really come from you. They tell her every step is borrowed, her plie heaven sent. And for every bow she's taken, she's got something to repent. Abelina Ballerina, stand still, don't twirl. It's your fault if they're not holy, so be a good little girl. Abelina Ballerina, preacher says, let us pray. Closes the door so no one hears, calls it a special game. He says this is guidance, says she's holy, full of grace. Claims God needs her silence, blessed are those that obey. Abelina Ballerina, the light has left her eyes. She no longer hears the music, and her steps are out of time. Abelina Ballerina, remember how you twirl. Who's to blame if they're not holy? You're still just a little girl. Abelina Ballerina, stand still, don't twirl. It's your fault if they're not holy, so be a good little girl. Abelina Ballerina, those aren't butterflies you feel. Life grows heavy inside you, child. There's no way to conceal. They say her name like a warning, obedience her only crime. While he preaches purity, taking them for every dime. Abelina Ballerina learns what judgment cost, learns who gets forgiven and who pays the loss. Abelina Ballerina learns to mother through the ache, learns that love can still be sacred even after what they take. She devours her education and her eyes begin to shine. Music pours out from within her and her steps fall back in time. She reads the words they cherry-picked, preaches truth they try to hide. She interrogates the God, she uncovers every lie. She shows why nothing ever changes, who the system benefits. Men of God who feed on power, abuse, shame, and the grift. Abelina Ballerina, show me how you twirl, spinning in the sunlight, dancing with your little girl. Abelina Ballerina, dancing center stage again. Abelina Ballerina, dancing barefoot in the sun. You're so precious, little angel, and your dance has just begun.
Godwin, there was a Mog on her show once that thought her name was Boma. And so ever since then, we've all called her Boma.
Okay, thanks. I've heard that. I just didn't know what it was.
That is the lore about. You guys, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for listening to my songs. My albums are out on everywhere you stream music. Look for the artist Crystaljae. I have 2 albums out. One is a short triptych called A Seat at the Table, and the other is my EP, my Deconstruction album called Ex Parte. Also, I will be here live tomorrow. I never did do a release party. I should have. I just, with the baby that was coming and stuff, I put everything on hold, and then it came out before the baby did. Anyway, I will be live here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Come join me and tell all your friends. Join me. I'll have another auntie sermon for you tomorrow. Today was Zilpa. I don't remember who's next. I got to go look that up and figure that all out and write a sermon tonight. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here, Godwin. I appreciate you. Ty here, Boma, Jared, Devil's Public Defender. I don't know, Ashera, Kylie, Jay, Dugald, all of you guys. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you around the mean streets.
So let's see, what can I do? What can